Welcome to episode 50 of the Questlore series, Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf. To start this quest you must have completed Fishing Contest and a Giant Dwarf. The quest begins when Veldeban tells you that the Red Axe Company has left Keldgrim after its director showed frustration for not having been chosen as the model for the head of the Giant Dwarf statue. Veldeban suggests speaking with a Drunken Dwarf who's been known to sometimes rant about Red Axe. You give the Drunken Dwarf a beer, but he wants something stronger called Kelder Stout. He hands you a Kelder hop seed and indicates that his drinking friends may have more. Outside the Laughing Miner pub, the Rowdy Dwarf asks you for a random item in exchange for his Kelder hop seed. Using the minecart system, you find a pub in a tunnel underneath White Wolf Mountain, and Korvac, a dwarven engineer, gives you another Kelder hop seed. Lastly, in the King's Axe Inn, you do a toast with Gauss, and he gives you the fourth and final seed. You ask Rind, the gardener, for advice on planting these seeds, and he gives you permission to use the Kelder hops patch. This takes about 15 minutes to grow. After these have been grown and harvested, you get some ale yeast from Blandbeer for 25 coins, and in the vat you mix together 2 buckets of water, 2 barley malt, the Kelder hops and the ale yeast. This takes another 15 minutes to ferment. You turn a valve, pour the Kelder stout in a beer glass, and give this to the Drunken Dwarf, and he tells you about the boarded up tunnel. Speaking with the conductor, you learn that he cannot remove the boards without the right authority. You then speak to the director of your mining company, who orders the boards to be removed, and you enter a minecart to head down the new tunnel. Here you find a puzzle with square stones that direct the cart along the tracks above the chasm. Once through, you snoop in on a conversation between the Red Axe director and some accomplices, finding out that he planned for the boat to crash into the statue and that he wanted to blame it on a human. In the next room, there's a second puzzle, similar to the first one, leading to an archive room, where you find documentation of the bribing of the boatman and a plan to blame a human. You also read about the suspected intrusion of a dwarf, who then had his memory wiped by a spell that makes him obsessed with beers and kebabs, so he doesn't reveal the Red Axe operation. Lastly, you learn about the adoption of an ogre shaman to cast magic spells since dwarves are unable to use magic. Then there's a third minecart puzzle room. At the end, you see an army of chaos dwarves but are caught by an ogre and have your memories erased. You try to tell Veldeban but are unable to. Back in the Laughing Miner pub, you have a beer and a kebab and tell the story of what you saw, replacing chaos dwarves with kebabs and a Red Axe conspiracy with drunken dwarves. Join me next time where I'll explain the lore behind the Lost Tribe.